what's your take? I said it in the agenda. What's your take on the current media fury that's going on at the moment? I mean, you can't look at an NFL beat writer's news feed, no matter where they are in the world, and I'm not retweeting a running back who's done an eye emoji or has made a comment about it. And you talked about, Miles. I think he's the highest paid. He's got the most guaranteed money of any starting running back in the year coming. Miles Sanders does, specifically for the year coming. I believe that's correct. What's your overall thoughts on it? Because everything I'm hearing from you, and I'm not putting words in your mouth whatsoever, everything I'm hearing from you is you believe in a running back by committee, not just because of the different skill sets you need within a running back room, but also the durability angle as well. Is that a big reason why there's been a bit of a drive down in singular big player contracts, like you get at your defensive tackle and your defensive end and your offensive tackle and your quarterback and your wide receivers and your cornerbacks to maybe a slightly lesser extent?
Yeah, it's a crazy time for the running back position. It's kind of been projecting this way a little bit for a while, but this year is probably different than most because usually it's no first round draft pick running backs and no big contract. Well, yeah, it was kind of the draft actually for backs was pretty good. You had a guy go ninth, and then the off-season contracts weren't as great. You got all these franchise tags going on into some of these backs. So
Lowe's yesterday, right?
Yeah. So it kind of ended that point. But I don't know. I think part of it is because guys have been cheap and made big plays. I mean, I know Eckler is probably one of the guys, and I just bring up that name because, again, he was a late round guy and all that stuff. I mean, you look at Boston Scott, he was a late round guy and all that. So I don't know. And so many teams, the game has changed a little bit. You don't have two backs in a game. You're not playing a fullback run game. You've got more spread. You've got more athletic quarterbacks that are running a little bit more throughout the league because really at some point the NFL kind of mirrors what's going on in college because those are the players we get and kind of fill our rosters with. So you've seen more of the RPO. You've seen more of the read options. So you've seen the numbers go down for backs a little bit in that case to where it's okay, I don't know. And I'm a running back coach, so I want running backs to get paid as much.
Well, that's what I mean, right? It's catch-22 for you, right? Because you're talking to us as a friend, but also as a running back coach and a guy who coaches and speaks to running back all day. You got friends in the running back committee, you got running back coaches, you got running back old players you play with the players now, and it must be difficult for you in that, just even thinking, not even speaking to anyone else, but just kind of thinking about it in your own mind because you want running back to be this prominent, amazing position. You want running back guys to get paid, but in the same breath, you're preaching the need for multi skill sets and the clear and obvious notion that running backs who run the ball every down are going to get hurt when they're running into 340-pound defensive tackles all the time, right?
See, if you ask me, that's a bigger portion of why maybe the players could be getting paid a little bit more as running backs because of what they
risk.
Do. But it's not that. So it's you got a guy, and you said it, playing the running back position. I'm not saying this because I played it in college or coach it. There's not many more physical positions than the running back. I think when you look at the average career life of a running back, why is it smaller than most other positions? Well, because of what we do day in and day out, right? A 370-pound guy falling on top of you with all his weight is a major collision. Right. And it happens. So we're going to block, we're going to tackle, we're going to, get tackle, all this stuff. And it's a very physical position. And I firmly don't believe that a guy can do that for 90 plays a game for 17 weeks and come out. The body's not built that way. Right. And so it's okay. Well, now give me 2 or 3. And when at the end of the day, I think my job is to make sure that the running back room can help the team win in any way they're asked. Right. And if that means I got one guy that's making a huge amount of money, guaranteed, long contract, and then the other guys I have got to be on rookie deals because that's the only way we could afford any other guys in that room, it's a dangerous situation for me because if that guy gets hurt, then I'm stuck. Whereas, and there might be running backs that hate me for this, but I'm like, I want I want like what I have now. I got 5 guys in the room that have a chance to play, and it's not like they're on huge contracts. Now, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you making a mill, you can live okay. Is that really deserving of the position you play? Maybe not. Yeah. Right? Maybe not. And it's like the same, Miles had an opportunity to go and do that, but he had to have a really good year, or else that contract doesn't show up for him.
Yeah, and he did. Yeah.
And so to me, it's tough. It's really a tough piece. We want to be that, but just the offenses have changed a little bit. And I hate it because really it diminishes a little bit of my role when this guy, he's coaching these guys here. But to me, at the end of the day, it's about winning games. And how can you do that? How can we control what we can control? Right, in the running
I wonder if it needs to be a little bit more like a depth cornerback room or a depth wide receiver room. Like, because the wide receiver market, I feel like it's looked at on a singular player basis historically, not now. We're talking about more of a room to be produced now. But if if you're DeAndre Swift, if you're Rashard Penny, what's Zacchaeus being like paid this year? Is it like $3 million or something like that? Like, and that's the fourth. I don't know what it is, but I suppose what I'm trying to get at is, like, should it be looked at as more of a depth position like other positions are in the team? Because probably historically it's not really, is it?
I think so. When you think about it, really, as a running back, the majority of the time on the field, you got maybe 1 or 2 two-back systems still out there, but you've got 1 running back on the field. So in the running back room, to be 3 deep, you need 3 people. Sure. In the receiver room, when you talk about mainly most teams, 11 personnel is probably the most prevalent personnel grouping, meaning 1 running back, 3 receivers, 1 tight end. That's the kind of the basics for that. So same thing. If I got 3 receivers on the field and I want to be 3 deep at those positions, well, now I'm looking at 9 receivers. So it's the numbers of it and the plays and how they kind of go, because it's the number of reps for a running back, the number of reps for a tight end, the number of reps for receivers. I think some of that plays into it, right? It does. Yeah. I mean, quarterback, really, you got 1 guy, right? He's going to have the big contract, and then you get the backup guy. Well, backups probably make more than most running backs.
Unless you're the Tennessee Titans, in which they've got like 3 or 4 potential starting quarterbacks this year.
That's it. Well, like they say, if you got 3, you got none.
There you go. We'll put that out and at the Tennessee. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm joking.
But no, it is. It's a changing, and I think it's tough for you want to be, if you're the best at your position and you think you should be compensated accordingly, so be it. And it's just that's not where we're at. These young men, and they get an opportunity to, I guess, get as much money as they can, get the best situation they can root for. And if it's not, I mean, you're seeing it. The guys aren't getting what they want, then it's always going to be the market. The market's going to always drive what it is. And as long as we have 5th round picks balling out and making Pro Bowls and doing that type of stuff, it's going to be harder for the position to have 1st round picks and big money contracts for all that. It's just, most analytics people are looking at it. It's like it's not, the cost analysis for this isn't what it needs to be.
Isn't what it needs to be. Yeah. Coach, that's so insightful. And we had great fun last year. We've had